time of the year when love is in the air, so is wedding preparation. So now anyone who is married by now will vouch and tell you how stressful that entire process really can be of getting the details for your big day just right. So the wedding season is just about to hit us, so we thought
we're going to bring you some hacks. So what will be all of the trends for summer weddings of 2024? Simple things like what do you wear, how do you decide what to wear, more complex things like decor, themes to catch, bigger questions. Is Gen Z following the steps of Bollywood? Are they looking at other things happening around the world? We have experts with all of the smart solutions in just a few minutes right here on the show.
Alright, so we will tell you everything you need to know and perhaps manage to help you a little bit in your wedding planning. How? We'll start with the most important thing if you're a bride-to-be, which is clothes. And to bring us all those details, we've got celebrity designer Rina Dhaka with us. Rina, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us here on The Breakfast Club. My first question obviously has to be about colors. What colors are really in vogue this summer wedding season of 2024? Shed some light for us.
To be honest, it's high summer now. So we'll go with there are two aspects to it. One would be the weddings which are done in destination, so they become colder climates. Then there is the basic generic climate, which is warm, 30s in our country. And for a high summer bride, yes, organzas, Varanasis, the use of delicacy, the use of white and gold has become a very big trend. As you know, a lot of brides want to go into, I remember my own son is to get married and my to-be daughter-in-law said, Auntie, can I wear white? I'm like, I don't mind any color, but it is something we're a bit apprehensive about. But white with gold, ivory with gold, the minute it becomes ivory, it becomes more bridal, or ivory with color, like you could put a maroon or a border of a red. Those are very good. For the summer brides, the use of Indian tradition can work more than I feel than in the winter, where you use embroideries, zardozi, and all that. So based on the pocket of a person. So that's going ahead as a lehenga. The traditional lehenga, is the red. But you go into this, my colors I would go for spring would be ivory golds, ivory with red, or you could even do colors of red, but in Banarsi fabrics, in organzas, in tissues. We have gorgeous fabrics from the summer in our country, Dhakai weaves, and the brides are not really venturing into it. And there is already a wave of doing the brocades. They have seen that one look where there is a brocade with brocade pants in bright colors. And that got used in a lot of mehndi situations. But I feel it needs to go into a wedding situation. And who better than our Banarasi weavers, better than our, Jamdani weavers? They are masters of this high summer weddings. Gold, of course, stays a standard staple classic for you to use gold on gold, or gold with silver, or gold and silver combined for your lehenga. So, and there is a lot of new innovation in terms of, since we wanted to go technical, is the use of Nakshi. Nakshi is basically an original form of a twisted yarn which catches. It's like a spring, so it catches. And they used to use it at the edges of the veils, and the girls look very pretty when it frames them.
Tell us, Rina, you kind of touched on this right now, but in the trends that you're seeing, when you speak to young brides who are coming to you with what they want, are you seeing a trend of brides today wanting that reeled back minimalism?
Yeah, because you can do the sari now with the veil and a belt. So a young girl with a waist is not losing that chance. So when she wears a sari, we're also making a lot of saris which are like skirts now. So you put inserts in it, like panels. Those inserts, like you saw Radhika Merchant wearing of Tarun's, they were inserts. So you can even wear it as a drape, a regular sari. The inserts give it a little bit of a soft wave. And then you can belt it, wear it with a regular blouse, or give it a trail. Girls love trails. Trails are the most uncomfortable thing on earth to stand in a large party. But yes, the effectiveness of a trail to give you length, drama, and demureness, there is no match to it. And And the veils also add to your play of light, shadow, whatever, like peekaboo.
Yeah. So clearly the Bollywood trend prevails, right? Alia Bhatt beige with the long veil that Priyanka Chopra also had. So all that is clearly still staying in vogue. But Reena, I have to ask you, not everybody will manage a Reena lehenga or a Sabyasachi lehenga. There are a lot of our viewers right now who say that, listen, we have a tight pocket. So to them, are there some tips that you can share how to manage your dream look but on a budget?
Of course, I am also a big patron of sustainability. I truly believe that one must reuse, rewear, and a garment like this will give you storage issues, will not really be having much use to you later in life. So, yes, girls, wisen up, be smart, dig out your own mum's lengas, their old saris. Take them out, go in fact to people who can restore it. And a lot of designers now even agree to refashion the clothes, pick up, or even tailors have become smart. They're able to, a lot of them in the city are able to belt out nice couture pieces. I see blouses being peddled everywhere. So pick up a blouse of your choice, match that embroidery, get yourself trims, which are heavy, like the tassel I talked about. Add them on your veils, double veil yourself. Do a sheer veil for your head veil, which is actually narrow on top. It should go to 3.5 meters and goes longer in the back. To be honest, even a poor drawer can make that veil. And then make skirts out of your lehengas, use belts. A lot of these accessories I feel are available in the markets, like in Delhi and Chandni Chowk, and in Bombay is also flooded with it. Online is flooded with it. Plus your own trunks of your mums, do not ignore them, because those kind of weaves you don't get elsewhere. Rewear your mum's clothes. Maybe not as a sari, or maybe use the sari as a lehenga, use the sari again as a drape on a lehenga, and get that little portion of embroidery redone. So that's also a doable, or find something in online or wherever which can work, or contrast it.
Even the deeper message behind that is so beautiful, Carry on the legacy of your mother, your grandmother by reusing, re-wearing their clothes for this occasion. Thank you so much, Reena, for joining us, taking out the time early in the morning to talk to us. So, clothes are done, Sonal. What else is in the vogue? Let's bring in, we have with us two guests to bring us this next aspect. We have Devanshi Patel, the founder of Shreem Events in Mumbai, joining Sonal. And we have Jayant Chhabra, a founder of Cupcake Productions, right here with us in Delhi.
So, Devanshi, thanks so much for joining us here in the studio. So, you do a job which is supposed to be the toughest, I believe, okay? You have to manage bridezillas, right? And you have to manage their very high intensity drama and demands as well. So, I want to understand from you, first and foremost, what is your advice to them? What trends will prevail this year? And what I'm trying to understand is that is maximism versus minimalism? Is it a wedding which is going to be outdoors or destination versus a wedding which will be a really private affair, something that we saw in COVID?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Firstly, thank you so much for having me here. I feel gone are the days when they are doing intimate weddings. Big fat weddings are back in India. I think after COVID, people have realized how important it is to have your loved ones around, to make the most of it when they are around, in fact. And that's the whole reason. A lot of loved ones, yes, definitely. So having all of them from different parts of the country, or maybe different part of the cities, they bring them all in together. They want to explore extravagant venues. They want to go for the best of the entertainment that they have these days. Food, of course, like I've seen in your previous shows, that how important the food is for the guests, because all they have the time over there is to spend with the couple, to eat the food there, and to enjoy the entertainment. So of course, like
So
these are
it's
your
an event. So
Yes.
the big fat Indian wedding is back.
It's definitely back, and it's here to stay.
Toya, I don't know what to say to that.
Okay, let's go over to Jayant, who's with us right here in Delhi, and ask Jayant. Jayant, as Sonal was saying, obviously that aspect is tricky, even the aspect you're in charge of. So complex because you have brides, grooms, the families going about organizing, and beach mein you need to stop them, you need to make them pose, you need to make that moment look beautiful, intimate. There's a lot on your shoulders. What are the trends? Tell us, and tell us how you manage all of this.
Thank you for having me here. I think there's a lot of trending thoughts to photography now in 2024. Bringing the summer in, I really feel that, you know, a BTS of a bride where she's chilling with her friends, maybe before just walking down the aisle, a glass of champagne, I think is much needed in the wedding photography. It is not about the great shot of walking down the aisle, it is also about behind the scene photography, which is really important and which seems really fun for a photographer and a bride as well. Apart from that, there's a lot of fashion oriented photographs, editorial. There is also slow shutter photography. We can also do direct flash photography, which is the latest trend coming forth, and I feel it is going to be great for the bride to definitely talk to the photographer before she gets on board with him. I think it's really important for understanding how the photographer approach is towards her big fat wedding. As you said, the time, it is really difficult to get so much time for photography in between a big fat wedding. But yeah, communication is the key, and I think it's going to be the next big thing in the wedding photography industry.
That's a really...
I think one person you should befriend in your entire wedding has to be the photographer. You need to sit them down and you need to really tell them. Because everything else, as Devanshi will tell you, can be managed, but memories are forever.
Yes, the memories are forever.
Which is what brings me to the next question, Devanshi.
Yes.
That I'm seeing a lot of tech influence in weddings these days.
Yes.
Instant downloads, instant QR codes, sort of instant tagging as well. Is that really taking over? People want access and they want it now?
Definitely. People have no patience. Plus, everyone's got really, they've got a lot of exposure over internet. So the reels that you see, the tags that you see, everyone constantly wants to be updated. Also, like you mentioned correctly, that, tagging. To give you an example, like, everyone does not want to remove their phones and click that same moment. Plus, I'm sure Jayant would agree, having the pictures where there are phones at the back is going to mess the whole thing out.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
So then we as planners also recommend them about the entire thing when it comes to having like a social media strategist or content creators.
Good Lord.
All of that, so that when they come in, they'll take, okay, who are your family members? We are going to take their tags down and gonna tag them on every moment possible. So when that gets on, everyone's just reposting stories instead of removing their phones while an entry is happening or while a Varmala is happening, which is also like the main moment. So I think a lot of it has started. Plus, technology is not just limited to content creation. Also, like as simple as ChatGPT. Like we are using as planners also for personalized messages. We want to plan out the entire itinerary, use some lovely language that we can. No need of editorial, people to come in, write the whole script. We're just helping the bride and the grooms to write their speeches on the weddings as well. So a lot of it is tech oriented.
Yeah.
Plus a great hack I can give you, like when you want to go on budget, you don't want to do a lot of decor, you don't want to spend a lot of money on florals, you go with LEDs. You go with a lot of it like lasers, technologies, that's being bougie on budget.
Keep that thought running on budget. I want to come back to that in just a moment. But you have given us a lot. ChatGPT for weddings.
Yeah.
Hopefully the vows are not being written over there. That's my only
are.
worry, because I don't know what happens next over that. But Toya has some questions for Jayant, I'm assuming, on this one.
Yeah, let's just, that same larger point though. What does it look like to do your wedding on a budget? Now I know that, weddings are something that your mother, your father, the groom's mother, father, everyone saved their lifelong savings to make this event happen.
Yeah.
It's already a time where people are, really, really scrounging to make it work. there's that, and at the same time you want to achieve the things you've dreamt of. You know, everything from Pinterest boards that sometimes you're, you know, building for years up.
Yeah.
Instagram, where you can now save your videos. I have so many friends who have just camera rolls full of saved visuals of what they want to look like. So I just want to ask you, amid all of that, what does it look like to operate on a budget, and what are your tips?
I think being a photographer, it is always, you know, we click people who are in love. You know, it is always the first thing that we look for. It is never always about the big flashy lehengas or maybe an intimate ceremony. But of course, there are two sides to it. Majority of people will like to have their dream wedding lehenga or their dream photographer on the job. But I think there is another side to it. People are moving back to a little culture, a little heritage and little ancestors. I think we have been grateful about how we experience all these kind of weddings, and I think for us as a photography and filmmaking company, we like both. More intimate, much better, because we get a lot of time with the family and the bride and groom.
You can feel it in the photos.
And we can feel it in the photo, and we can be a part of their family as well. But of course, in a big fat wedding, it's larger than life. It has a lot of commitments. Everybody is just going through, and you know, even a makeup artist would have her own photo assistant on phone. So I really think that, you know, for us, intimate is the key. But we love doing big fat weddings, and their aura is beautiful. I think it goes hand in hand.
But in the intimate, what are the things they can do?
Technically, the most important thing that I've realized is the friends participating in the wedding, the guests participating in the wedding.
Just that.
Yeah, just that, and maybe the guests preparing some food for the couple. So these are the couple of things that really get the intimacy on, and then I really feel that, you know, that's the real joy of calling your guests over.
But Jayant, you're not giving us hacks, huh? You're giving us a lot of gyan. आप काम की बात नहीं बता रहे हैं.
It's beautiful.
And what I really want to know is how candid is candid. I really want to understand.
Yeah, so I think I would go for big fat wedding, to be very honest. And the brides who've been saving their dream.
Tell
Right.
us. Can we?
Well, I'm not getting much from Jayant over there. So let me try and get it out from Devanshi. Hacks. Tell us hacks. How to save money.
See, a lot of it is there. And see, wedding, like you correctly mentioned, the parents are kind of saving. Nowadays, even the couples are spending out of their own pockets. So it's very important to also think on how you want to do it on a budget, or at least for value for money. I wouldn't say budget, but value for money. So I feel prioritize what is more important for you. May it be your venue, may it be your food, may it be your vendors, and then back calculate your budget on where you want to do the allocation. Like, to give you a little insight, 60% of your entire budget goes into your venue and your food. So then you're left with only 40. So where you want to allocate that 40%, maybe an makeup artist is important for a bride, or maybe a DJ is important for a groom. So where do you want to exactly place that budget? That is really important. Second, I feel the hack is, okay, not many people would agree, but an off-season wedding versus a high-season wedding makes a lot of difference. There's at least a 30% of difference in budgets. I would say also smart scheduling. So smart scheduling is basically when you have an event, that event is with a meal. Like you usually go for a wedding, it will have, it's a wedding with a lunch or a wedding with a dinner. And if you go for a reception, it's usually reception with a dinner. So the smart scheduling term comes in when you want to plan two things together. So it could be a wedding followed by a reception. So you just do a high tea and a dinner.
I see.
You do a mehndi followed by a sangeet. So you just do a high tea and a dinner again there. You do a haldi followed by a mehndi, which is just a breakfast
So your
and a
food
lunch.
cost is one, and
Yes.
then the rest of
And
the
the
stuff
rest
is
of it.
taken care
Plus
of.
also the production, right? The decor. You're just actually paying for one event, and you're doing two events together. Plus with the hectic, unless it's a destination wedding. Like, you know, if it's a city wedding, people have like 100 other things to do. Travel time kills you. So, you know, people also want to be a part of two events together. But it's kind of time saving for them as well. So smart scheduling, of course, that comes into play.
Yes.
Let's also ask, I do want to ask Jayant the same thing here. Jayant, these are some incredible tips we've got coming in from Mumbai, and what you do is so tricky because you're managing bride, groom, and then the entire family's photos also. For someone who doesn't have the budget, they're not springing for an expensive photographer, maybe they've asked their friend to photograph, someone they know, what are your tips?
I think for every bride and groom, it is really important to understand their designated budget for everything, right? As she said that you can just cut down on your events, you can match events, you can club events. For calling a photographer 3 days, you can just do it in 2.5 days or 2 days. That's also a cut short on budget, and you can speak to him about how many photographs do you need and how much video content that you need. So I think talking to the photographer and your filmmaker would really resolve a lot of budget issues. And she rightly said, you know, you can just be local. You can just vocal for local. Yeah, rather than going to Udaipur and then having a dream destination wedding.
Yeah.
Keep it local.
On the hotel,
yeah, and then you save a lot of travel time, travel cost, hotel cost. Because all the heritage hotels are really expensive. So why don't you do it local? So I think that's the tip that I will like to give them.
And you've also said earlier that intimacy is key. In fact, both of our guests today have told us keeping those lovely moments right in the center, even when you're doing 2 events at the same time, none of that matters. Just focus on the community. I thought that was so beautiful, Jayant, what you brought us earlier. Sonal, if we want to go over to you, we'll come thank our guest in Mumbai.
Yes, thank you so much, Devanshi and Jayant, for those insights. Jayant still hasn't answered the question on kaise bachana hai, but we'll get it off.
No, actually your question was for the wedding planner and she did it right.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Let's move on.